Hi Tacoma, welcome back to your second grade TV classroom. Today is Monday, November 2nd, and I'm Mrs. Oslin. Before we get started, take a moment and check in with your zone. Think about, what emotion are you feeling? Remember to practice using an I message. I'm going to practice sharing my I message with Gus. Gus, I'm feeling kind of disconnected in my brain and my body today. I'm feeling kind of frazzled, like I just have a lot that I'm trying to remember, and so it's giving me a hard time focusing because I have like a long list of things that I'm trying to remember right now. Now you take a moment and share your iMessage with your learning buddy, someone in the room with you, or with me on the screen. You'll remember it's really important for us to be able to share how we're feeling so that other people know, because they might not be able to tell just by looking at you. And different people can feel differently in different situations. So just because someone's feeling one way doesn't mean that's how you feel. So it's really important for you and I to be able to share how we're feeling so other people know and can help us if they need to. You'll remember our 3 personal standards. The 3 personal standards are the decisions that we make and the way that we behave when we're learning together. Put your finger up for each personal standard and practice saying them with me. Show respect, make good decisions, solve problems. We've been learning a lot about solving problems, and using an iMessage is one way to help start solving a problem. We learned about our feelings tree, and we've been adding different emotions to our feelings tree to help us think about what's happening in our brains and in our bodies so that we can use an iMessage to tell someone. We've also been practicing thinking about how strongly we're feeling our emotion using our feelings thermometer, knowing that if we get to a 4 or a 5 on our feelings thermometer, we need to go through the stop and stay cool steps before we say or do something that could hurt someone, ourselves, or if it's an unkind thing. So you'll remember the steps to the stop and stay cool steps are: you first say, I feel like I'm losing control. Practice saying that with me. I feel like I'm losing control. The second step is to stop. The third step is to give yourself a chilly hug, and that's when you wrap your arms around yourself and squeeze. Practice doing that with me. The fourth step in the stop and stay cool steps is to breathe in for 5 and then breathe out for 5. So we're going to practice doing that. Here we go. Then hopefully you are cool and ready to share your iMessage with someone. You will remember that we learned all about the peace path. The peace path is the way that you can solve a problem with someone. The first step on the peace path is to tell the problem. This is where you share your iMessage. And we learned that there's 2 steps to an iMessage. There's sharing your iMessage, and then there's the person who you're in a conflict with is going to say it back. So for example, I told Gus that I was feeling kind of disconnected in my brain and my body because I have a lot that I'm trying to remember. Then Gus would say, you are feeling disconnected because you have a lot to remember right now. That's an example of telling the problem, including saying it back. The second step in the peace path is Brainstorm Solutions. And this is where both people think about their conflict and try to come up with a win-win solution. You'll remember a win-win solution is one in which both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with the solution. We learned about sharing, taking turns, apologizing, getting help. You could also compromise, so give a little to get a little. You could also make amends, fix it. You could laugh it off, find something else to do, ignore it once, talk it out, take a break, or maybe you have another idea. The third step on the peace path is both people have a conversation about which conflict solver they think is best, and then they choose one and use it. Today, I want to teach you that there are strategies for improving your memory. And it's important to have a strong memory when you're in school because you're learning so much. And so much of what you learn builds on it and builds on and builds on. So you have to keep everything in your memory so you can learn new things. That's why it's important to have a strong memory. So I'm going to teach you some strategies today that can help improve your memory. Now, do I have your attention with ice cream? We're going to play a game. I'm going to pretend that we are at an ice cream store and I am the customer and you are the person who is going to be dishing up my ice cream. And I'm going to tell you my order. And I want you to pay attention to what do you do to help you remember my order. Are you ready? Okay. My first order is a vanilla cone. What was my order? Say it back. If you said vanilla cone, you were able to remember what my order was. Now think about, what did you do to help you remember vanilla cone? Maybe you pictured it in your mind. Maybe you said it back to me. I'm going to give you another order and see if you can remember this one. I would like chocolate with sprinkles, please. Now say back my order. If you said chocolate with sprinkles, you were able to remember my order. Now, what did you do to help you remember chocolate with sprinkles? Did you picture it in your mind? Did you say it out loud? Did you write it down? Those are all really good strategies for helping you remember. Okay, now I'm going to give you another order and this one's going to be a little bit longer. Are you ready? So think about, are you going to picture it in your mind? Are you going to say it back? Are you going to write it down? I would like 2 scoops of strawberry ice cream with whipped cream and chocolate sprinkles in a waffle cone with a cherry. Did you get it? Say it back. Okay, I'm going to say it again, and this time pay really close attention to if you said it back correctly last time. I would like 2 scoops of strawberry ice cream, whipped cream, chocolate sprinkles, in a waffle cone with a cherry. Now, I'm going to say it one more time, and I want you to picture it in your mind. Picture yourself building this ice cream sundae for me. Okay, 2 scoops of strawberry ice cream, whipped cream, chocolate sprinkles, in a waffle cone with a cherry on top. Now, did picturing it in your mind help you remember my order? That is a really good strategy for improving your memory. And that's something that you could do at school too. Now, here are some ideas for how you can help yourself remember. Practice active listening, especially your focus skills. So you'll remember active listening means your eyes are watching, your ears are listening, your voice is quiet, and your body is still. You make sure that you understand what you're supposed to remember. So I chose ice cream because I thought it would really get your attention. It's something that you're really interested in. So that helped you really focus because you probably understand ice cream. You could create a reminder word to help you remember. You could repeat in your head what you need to remember. You could take notes, that would be writing it down. Make a mind movie or story or a song. You could connect new information with something that you already know. So you could have thought about a time when you have ordered ice cream and connected with my order to help you remember. Or you could group similar things together. So things that are in the same category, or things that rhyme, or things that have the same beginning sound. We're going to play another memory game, and I want you to pick one of these strategies to help you really picture what it is that I'm asking you to remember. Are you going to picture it in your mind? Are you going to say it out loud? Are you going to write it down? Or are you going to try and chunk similar things together to help you remember? Pick one of those strategies. Okay, here we go. I want you to remember chocolate, vanilla, checkers, baseball, basketball. Okay, say back those 5 words. The 5 words were chocolate, vanilla, checkers, baseball, basketball. Did you remember all of them? It might have been more difficult than just the ice cream because there were some games thrown in there that doesn't have anything to do with ice cream. So a strategy might have been to put similar things together. So you might put chocolate and vanilla together because they're both ice cream. And then you could put checkers with baseball and basketball because they're all games. You also could have listened to the beginning sounds in the words, and you might have put chocolate and checkers together because they both start with ch. And then you would put baseball and basketball together because they both start with b. And then you would just have to remember vanilla. We're going to play one more memory game. And this time, I want you to pick a strategy that's going to help you remember. My things are going to be a little weird. Are you ready? Think about which strategy you're going to use. Say it back. Understand what it is that I'm asking you to remember. Write it down. Make a picture. Group similar things. Here we go. Shubu, Trunklement, Zimmer, Voberscott, Wadament. Did you get it? Say it back. The 5 words were Shubu, Trunklement, Zimmer, Voberscott, Wadament. Did you remember any of them? You might have remembered 1 or 2, but that would have been really tricky for you to remember all 5 because we don't understand what I'm asking you to remember. These words mean nothing to you, probably. Even I had to write them down because they mean nothing to me. So that's important when you're thinking about how to improve your memory. You need to understand what it is that we are asking you to remember. So if your teacher is asking you to remember something that you don't understand, then you might use an iMessage to explain, I don't understand what you're asking me to remember. We learned strategies for improving your memory, and we talked about why it is important to have a good memory to be successful at school. It's because you're learning a lot of facts. You're learning a lot of things, and you need to have a system for how to improve your memory so you can remember all of the interesting things that you are being taught. Now, you might remember my iMessage at the beginning of our lesson, and I was feeling kind of disconnected because I have a lot that I need to remember. So what I'm going to do is think about what is a strategy that I can use to help me remember so that my brain can be freed up to be more connected with my body. So I have a lot of things that I need to remember. So I am going to practice taking notes, writing it down. I'm going to practice making sure I understand what it is that I'm supposed to be remembering. And if I don't understand, I can ask the questions so that I do understand. And I'm also going to practice making a picture in my mind to help me remember. So you think back to what are the strategies that you could use to help you remember. And I want you to pick 2 or 3 that you're going to practice. And then I want you to write about how it went for you. So take some think time. Which strategies are you going to use to help you remember this week? And then, because saying it back is one of our strategies, practice telling your learning buddy the strategies that you are going to practice this week. Gus, I am going to practice writing things down, picturing them in my mind, and making sure I understand what it is I'm being asked to remember. Now, what I want you working on this week is thinking about your memory strategies, and I want you writing to your teacher about what strategies you're trying and whether it's working or not for you. I also want you practicing using this document clues for determining key ideas in your nonfiction text, using text features to help you figure out what is the text mostly about, and then what is the supporting details, much like we did with the article about peanut butter. You're also going to continue using your Troublemaker words and your Tackle a Words chart to help you read words that are causing you trouble. You're going to continue practicing reading your Snap Words book. You can read it loud like a monster, scary like a witch, squeaky like a mouse, whisper like a secret, or invent your own. And if you have one that you think we need to see or know about, ask your adult if it's okay for you to be filmed doing it, or send us an email and just explain how to read the word wall, and we will share it with all the other second graders. And Mr. Kevin put our email address down there. Now, part of making good decisions is making sure you have your materials. Here's a really good opportunity to practice one of your new memory strategies. The materials that I want you to gather are your whiteboard and marker, your learning buddy, and your counters. How are you going to remember what materials you need to gather? Are you going to picture this in your mind? Do you need to write it down? Do you need to say it out loud? Take some think time. Second graders, thank you so much for thinking and helping me learn some new memory strategies so that I'm not so distracted for the rest of the day. I can't wait to hear about how these strategies are going to help you be successful. Have a great break, take care of your needs, and then be back in 5 minutes ready for math with Mrs. Wally. Bye.
I look very red behind the camera. Do I look red on the TV? Am I red? Welcome back, second graders. I hope you had a great break. All right, before we get into our adding with regrouping, we're gonna do Make It Monday. So I'm gonna show you a number and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds and I want you to think all of the ways that you can think of to make that number. Are you ready? Here it comes. If you think of a way, one of the ways to remember that way is to put it on your thumb and then think of another way. And as you think of the next way, put it on your finger and keep going and keep track of them on your fingers. Okay, are you ready? Go ahead. Tell them to me. How can you make 56? What is your brain thinking? What's a way to make 56? 50 plus 6, we call that expanded notation, right? We pull out the place value. 5 tens is 50 and 6 ones is 6, and we put them together, it makes 56. Okay, what's another way to make 56? 25 plus 25 plus 6, okay. What was that, Gus? Oh, Gus said 25 plus 31. Gus, how did you get 25 plus 31? Oh, did you hear that? Can you see how Gus might have used this problem to help him get this problem? Yeah, he added 25 and 6 in his head, and he got 25 plus 31. It's another way to make 56. Oh, you could do 40 plus 16. That's a great way. What was that, Pebble? Oh, Pebble said, Mrs. Wally, I use this one too. What's your equation? 28 plus 28. How did Pebble get 28 plus 28 by using this equation right here? Oh, well, that was really great math thinking. Pebble took this 6 and split it in half. 6 is 3 and 3, and 25 plus 3 and 25 plus 3 is 28 plus 28. Fantastic. I have room for one more. Who has another one that they did? Oh, you know that 50 is made of 20 and 30. So you did 23. Whoops. Sorry about that. You're gonna split up the 6. Okay, so you did 23 plus 33 because 3 plus 3 is 6 and 20 plus 30 is 50. Whoa, there are so many ways to split up this number. If I didn't get yours, maybe I'll get it next time. Or you could email it to us or send it to us in the mail. We would love to see. And I would love to show it here on the TV classroom. Today, we're learning to solve addition problems that involve regrouping. Now, I'm going to be using base 10 blocks. If you have base 10 blocks at home, pull them out. If not, that's okay. You can draw what I build. So, to draw a 10, we draw a line. To draw a 1, we draw a dot. We call it sticks and dots, okay? So sticks and dots are the pictorial representation or the picture representation of these manipulatives. Now these manipulatives really help if you have them, but they're not required. And I'm working on maybe getting you guys some paper ones that you can pick up from your school that you can cut out and use. So hopefully those will be coming soon. I'll let you know as soon as I know for sure they're coming and what day you can pick them up. But for now, if you don't have base 10 blocks, you can do sticks and dots, okay? Or you could draw your own base 10 blocks and cut them out to use. That might be a fun activity to do. You could decorate them nicely and make them look nice. So I'm gonna build, you're gonna draw. I'm not gonna draw because I'm building. So I'm expecting you to be responsible second graders and be drawing along with me and checking your drawing with my base 10 blocks. Reminder, a 10 is a line, a 1 is a dot. Okay, deal? Great. So before we start, we're gonna count on by tens. Now we're not starting at 40, we're starting at 47. So what are we gonna do? A lot of times when we count by tens at school, we start at the 10. But we're not starting at the 10. We're counting on by 10 in the middle of the 10. So what are we going to do? What was that, Pebble? Pebble says, Mrs. Wally, yeah, the tens place just goes up by 1. So 47 and 10 more is, you got it, 57. What's next? 67. What's next? 77. What's next? 87. What's next? That does not look like an 8, Mrs. Wally. What's next? 97. What comes after 97 if you're counting by tens? This one is tricky. If you're not sure, count up by ones 10 times. 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, yeah, 107. Okay, now we're going to start at 35. We're counting by tens. So each time, Gus, what's going to happen? Our 10's going to go up by 1. So if we're at 35, now we're at 45. What's next? Yes. What's next? Yes. What's next? Last one? Very good. Now I didn't say them this time because I wanted you to be watching. Last one. You ready? We're at 23. Watch and see. Count by tens. Do it right now. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Ready, go. Great. Now see if you were right. How'd you do? Awesome. Okay. So we have an example problem. Lucas has 47 rocks in his collection. Now they've made a picture, but I know that if I build it or draw it on my own, I understand it better. So please build or draw 47. 10, 20, 30, 47. Okay. Lucas has 47 rocks in his collection. He gets 34 more rocks. How many rocks does Lucas have now? And I've built my starting number. What am I trying to figure out? How many rocks does Lucas have now? Now I know they solved it down here, but second graders, just because they did the work doesn't mean you don't have to do the work. You need to do the work because we're going to check and make sure that their work is accurate. Because even though they're a textbook company that did this, sometimes they make mistakes. So we have to do the math too to make sure it makes sense and to make sure it's accurate, okay? So it's a story problem. So we know what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out how many rocks Lucas has now. What do we know? We know that Lucas has 47 rocks, and then what happens? Does he get more rocks? Does someone have more or fewer rocks? Does he get less rocks? What happens? He gets 34 more rocks. So are we going to be adding to, comparing, or taking away? Yeah, he gets more, so we're going to add 2. How many are we adding? 34. Here we go. Let's count. 10, 20. You're drawing it. 30. You're not just sitting watching that TV. You need to be drawing it with me. You need to do the math with me in order to understand it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So what do we do to figure this out? We've got it here. What do I do? Yeah, we start combining. Do we start with the 10s or the 1s? You start whichever one you want. But the standard way is you start with the 1s and then regroup to the 10s. It makes it easier when you start doing the standard algorithm. And I'm going to show you that right next to this. I just need to make sure that you can see my base 10 blocks. So we've got, write this on your board please, 47 plus 34. Now down below, they've added the 10s and then they've added the 1s. Do you see that right here? They've added the 10s and then they've added the 1s. So we can see it that way, but I want to add the 1s and then the 10s. And let's see what happens. So we're going to put together the 1s and the 10s. So here, the 1s and the 1s. I'm sorry, friends. So there's my 1s for the 47, and I'm going to add 4 more 1s. And look what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. What happened? Yeah, I made a what? I made a group of 10. If I make a group of 10, that has to get regrouped and put over here. That has to get regrouped as a group of 10 and added into the tens place. Do you see that? So this 10 no longer lives in my ones place. It's okay, Mr. Kevin, they don't need to see that arrow. I'm going to do it just like this. Now, this group of 10 goes over here. We trade it for one of these, and we stick an extra one here. And this goes away because we regrouped it. We've regrouped it. We've made a group of 10, and now it's right here. I could split it up and make 10 ones again, but I've made a group of 10, and now it's over here. So now I have one group of 10, a group of 4 tens, and a group of 3 tens. And what do I have here? 1, because 7 plus 4 is 11, which is one group of 10 and an extra 1. 11. One group of 10 and an extra 1. Right? Right. Okay. So 7 plus 4 equals 11. That's what we just did, right? We did 7 plus 4 equals 11. One group of 10 and the extra 1s. Here's my one group of 10 and my extra 1. Okay. Now, I've added the 1s. Now I need to add my 10s. I have 40, 30, and 1. See why we counted by 10s? Well, look. I've got 40 and 40. What's 4 plus 4? 8. What's 40 plus 40? 80. Now, am I going to write 80 here or 8? This is saying 4 tens plus 3 tens plus 1 10 equals 8 tens. 10 plus 40 plus 30 equals 80. Actually, I'm going to erase that 10 because we have it here. So if I have, I'm sorry, friends, 40 plus 30 equals 70. And then we have this extra 10, which we have up here, right? Oh, you can't see that. That's not helpful, is it? 40 plus 30 equals 70. So we have 70 and 11, which is what they did over here, right? 70 and 11. And then they split up the 11 into the 10 and 1. I like doing it this way better because I do the 1s and I get my 10 in the tens place, and then I can add all my 10s together and I have my answer of 81. So how many rocks does Lucas have now? 81. Very good. Okay. You ready? Let's try another one. So let's clear the board. Blanca sells 59 flags at a parade. She has 37 flags left. How many flags did she have before the parade? Ooh, show your work. What's going on? There's a parade, yep, and someone's selling flags, right? Yeah. What are we trying to figure out? How many flags did she have before the parade? So we have, Are you feeling like you need to draw a bar model? Because I feel like I'm needing to have a draw a bar model. So we're going to just do this. We know how to draw bar models. It's going to help us solve it, right? We know we have a part, and a whole, and we're not sure which one's which right now. Bianca sells 59 flags, and she has 37 flags left. There's a part she has and a part she takes away. And we're trying to figure out how many flags did she sell before. So how many flags did she start with, which would be our whole. So we're trying to figure out how many she started with, right? We know that she sells some, and we know that she has some left, right? She didn't sell all of them. Otherwise, we'd know how many she started with. So how many does she sell? Bianca, oh, there it is. Bianca sells 59 flags. Bianca sells 59 flags. Okay. How many did she have left? 37. We have two parts. What do we do to find the whole? Put it together. Okay, so we're going to do 59 plus 37 equals something. I want you to use a strategy that works for you. Do you want to add the tens and then the ones and then add those sums together? Or do you want to do the base 10 blocks, add all the ones, regroup, add all the tens? It's up to you. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Go ahead, solve. Okay, just looking at what I built here, are we going to have to regroup? Gus, what do you think? Yeah. Gus says, yeah. Mrs. Wally, there's way more than 10 ones there. I agree with you, Gus. And I know that one of my ones is 9. So this is going to make 10, and I'm going to regroup that, right? If I was writing like this, I would say, well, I have 6 ones left, and I traded this in for an extra 10, right? Then I have 50 plus 30 plus 10. What's 50 plus 30? 80. And 10 more? 90. I have 9 tens. Now, if I did it the other way, it would look like this. 59 plus 37, it would be 50 plus 30 equals 80. And 9 plus 7 equals 16. And 80 plus 16 equals 96. Friends, you can do it. Well, you can do it either way. I'm going to need to redo my tape so I know where my boundaries are. Look at that. I got 96. Both of these are mathematically accurate. Whichever one makes more sense to you, that's the one you should use. Okay? All right. So, how many flags did she have before? 96 flags. Great. Now we're just going to do what I like to call a bare number. There's no story with it. It has no labels. It's just the numbers. 47 plus 28. Please solve. Use the strategy that works for you. Do you want to draw a picture? Do you need to draw the picture? If you don't, don't. If you do, do. What works for you? Got it? What is 7 plus 8? 15, which has 15, has 5 and 1. Oh, look at this. 7 plus 8, 15. You see how I drew it? See how I drew it right there? 15, there's my 1, right? 15, 15, okay. Now I'm going to move on to my tens. What's 40 plus 20? Not 60, Mrs. Wally. Yes, it is 60. 40 plus 20 is 60, and 10 more is 70, which is 7 tens. Look, 60 and 10 more is 70. So if we have 60 plus 15, we get 75. Look. Ta-da! Now you can see it. 47 plus 28 equals 75. You can either do it this way, or you can do it this way. We start with the ones with this way. We start with the tens this way. We get to the same answer. Now I can't start with the tens with it like this, because I do 40 plus 20 equals 7, and then 7 plus 8 equals 11, and then that would be really hard, right? That wouldn't make, we'd get really confused, wouldn't we? So if you're going to add the tens and then the ones, write it this way. If you're going to add the ones and then the tens and do the standard algorithm, you're going to do it that way. All right, we are out of time. Oh, you know what? Let's do it really fast. Can we do it really fast? Let's do it really fast. Okay. Jenny gets 53 points in her first board game. She gets 38 points in her second. What's the total number of points? So what's our equation? Yep, 53 plus 38 equals blank. Because it's written like this, I'm going to go with tens and ones. What's 50 plus 30? What's 50 plus 30? That's 80. What's 3 plus 8? 11. Now I have to add those two together. What is 80 plus 11? 91. So what's 53 plus 38? 91. Is that an answer on there? It is. What's the answer? C. Brady chose A. What did Brady forget to do? Yeah, I think this is what Brady did. I think you're right. I think Brady did this. 8 plus 3 is 11. 5 plus 3 is 8. What did Brady do? Brady forgot to regroup the 10. Do you see how when we do it like this, you don't forget to regroup the 10 because you see it here? It's a really great way to check your work, right? Yeah. So was Brady correct? No. So you're going to practice adding with regrouping. Pages 159 and 160. Okay? Practice that. If they're hard to do on the paper, friends, please draw on your whiteboard. In fact, for all these problems, instead of making a mess on the paper, because sometimes if you make a mistake and you erase it, this paper doesn't erase very well, do it on your whiteboard first. Get the correct answer, work it out, try a different strategy if it's not working, then put it on your paper. Okay? Awesome. Okay, time for our affirmation. Don't forget, oh, wait, no, we have to go over a learning check. I forgot. Did we show our thinking with base 10 blocks or base 10 pictures? Yes. Did we show our thinking? We didn't do the open number line today. Today wasn't, we're gonna do open number line tomorrow. And did we show our thinking with the quick draw, the tens and ones? Some of you did. Awesome job. Okay, so now our affirmation. You ready? Okay. Friends, you are amazing at solving problems in ways that are respectful of others. You've learned that with Miss Oslin, and I know you've done a great job. So your affirmation today is, I am respectful when I solve my problems. Because you are, and sometimes it's really hard, so we have to remind ourselves of that. Are you ready? I'm respectful when I solve my problems. Your turn. Excellent job, second graders. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.